Hello and welcome. I'm going to be showing us how to make just a very simple dashboard. At this point, we've created our three different visualizations, incorporated some of our design elements, and so we're going to put them all together into a dashboard. It'll be a very easy one. It probably won't look very much like a finished product, but we're just going to talk about how we kind of create a new dashboard, and then we're also going to look at how do we incorporate some functionality in our dashboard. Specifically, how do we use other visualizations as filters on our dashboard? So the first thing I'm going to do is create a new dashboard. You notice down here, we've been clicking this new worksheet button whenever we needed to make a new worksheet. We're going to click the one next to it here in the middle, that little 2x2 grid. That's going to be our new dashboard button. It's going to open up our dashboard interface here. We can go ahead and double click on that tab to rename this. I'm just going to name this my sales dashboard. It looks very similar to what we've been working with, but instead of having a data pane over here, I now have a couple of my different options for dashboarding. Up here we have different layouts. We have the default. We can create a phone layout if I know that my supervisors are going to be digesting this or my end users are going to be using mobile devices to be looking at this report. We can create kind of a mobile device specific report and then a laptop specific report. We can adjust the size. I'm going to keep mine at this 1000 by 800, but I can adjust those. I can do an automatic range so that it's as whoever's opening up my dashboard on whatever screen they're looking at, Tableau will identify what that size of screen is and it will automatically match it. Or I can hard code it. I like to hard code it because then I know exactly where my containers, my visualizations, my text, I kind of know where everything's going to be sitting and staying, and I don't have to worry about variable screen size. These are going to be all of the sheets that we have in our dashboard here. So we just have the three. And then down here we have objects. We're not going to spend a ton of time using any of these today, but I'll touch on some of them. Horizontal and vertical, these are containers, and these are just ways that I can organize my different pieces or objects on my dashboard. So our horizontal container allows me to put objects kind of stacked horizontally next to each other. And then vertically would be allowing me to stack objects on top of one another. We can put text, images, I can embed web pages in here. We can use blank containers. You'll notice in some dashboards that I've built, or as we kind of move throughout these exercises, we'll use blank containers as a way to provide some white space and just give our dashboard a little bit easier, kind of digestible view. Navigation includes buttons, so I can navigate between dashboards. We can include a download button, and that download allows me to give my end user the control if they want to download this workbook into like a PowerPoint or a PDF, or if they want to grab some underlying data, I can give them that download option. There's some third-party extensions that you can also include, and then Ask Data is relatively new, and it's kind of this interactable interface where I can ask data and put that out there, and that gives my end user the chance to ask questions of my data. So they could say something like, what product did we sell the most of in 2020? And then it's going to use kind of some smart intelligence to go back into the data to find the answer to that question. So we're actually not going to use any of those today. Instead, we're going to create just our very simple dashboard. What I'm going to do here is let's go ahead and grab our design level 1.2 sheet, and I'm just going to click and drag that out here to my interface. Notice as we do that, it looks just like my worksheet. And let's go ahead and grab our design level 1.1. And this one I'm going to position on the bottom half of the screen. The bottom half will be our subcategories. The top half will be our segments and categories. And then the last thing I want to bring in is our design level 1.3 dashboard. And this one I'm going to position all the way, if it'll let me, There it is. I'm going to position all the way to the far right of my dashboard. And when I do that, it's going to pretty much split my dashboard up into halves. So at this point, I have everything I need out here. Now it's just a matter of resizing. So I'm just going to bring this in a little bit. That's maybe a little too much. I'm trying to make sure my headers here, technology, furniture, office supplies, don't get cut off. I'm going to try to make this as wide as I can without losing any of those labels. Let's see. Okay. A couple other things I might do here. Notice how I have this scroll bar. I don't always love having scroll bars. So one way we can get rid of that is if you click on that visualization, you'll notice you get this black outline that lets me know that that's the visualization I'm working with. I'm going to come up here to what we call the fit menu. It's set to standard. I'm going to set it to fit height. And what that's going to do is that's going to make the visualization fill out the entire height of that space. And so it's going to fit all of my subcategories in here so that I no longer need to scroll. All right, so at this point, I have a very simple dashboard. You'll notice I have consistent coloring. So my consumer is always this blue, corporate's green, and then my home office is kind of that burnt orange, reddish rust color. So now what I want to do is incorporate some filtering in here. So I'm going to click on this top left visualization, my sales by segment and category. Again, when I click on it, you'll see the black outline. And then up here, we have this use as filter button. So I'm going to click that so that the little filter there is now filled in with white. And what that allows me to do is if I were to click on any one of these bars in here, it's going to filter my whole dashboard. So let's click on furniture. Notice when I click on furniture, I now see all of my sales by subcategory. I only get subcategories that fall under furniture. We see over here, my sales by segment now is only showing the corporate sales because that's the segment I grabbed from. If we want to undo a click, we can either go and click right back on the same thing that we clicked on, or you can hit escape on your keyboard. And then we're going to do the same thing with my sales by segment visualization. I'm going to click on that one, get my black outline. When I click on visualizations to make sure I select the visualization, I try to not click on the actual marks themselves, because if I do that, it selects the mark. I'll click typically up by the title because I'm not then selecting anything in the visualization, but it's going to select that whole visualization for me. Once I have that selected, I'm going to go ahead and click that Use as Filter again. And just to show us what that's doing, let's click on Home Office. Notice when I click on Home Office, I'm now only seeing the categories from that specific segment, and all of my sales by subcategory visualization bars are filtered by that same segment. To deselect, again, I can just click on it, and that's going to deselect it. If I wanted to, I could click down in my sales by subcategory, and I could also use this as a filter. I'll just show you what that looks like. And I can come down here and I can click on accessories, and then I can see what accessories looks like within each one of my different segments. And I can select more than one. So I can use my little kind of drawing rectangle to select a couple, or I can click on one and then hold Control on my keyboard. And then I can select as many as I want. Again, with this, if I want to deselect them, I just hit Escape on my keyboard and everything is returned back to normal. Some of these things might require teaching like our end users how to interact with that. We'll get into a little bit more of those kind of design principles and how we can encourage end users to interact with our reports. We do some of that by putting things into our titles. So instead of this just saying sales by segment and category, I would put something up there that might say, click a bar to filter the visualization, or select a segment to filter the dashboard. Something like that that lets my end user know I'm expecting them to do something. But at this point, we have a very rough looking dashboard, but we do have a dashboard and we get to see all of the visualizations that we've made so far. So thanks.